And this morning, the world continues to mourn the passing of Pope Francis.
Yes, his body was transferred to St. Peter's Basilica this morning and will lie in state there until his funeral Saturday. NBC's Jay Gray has more from Vatican City this morning. Good morning, Jay.
Yeah. Good morning, Danita. Good morning, Dave. Catholic history, traditions framing what is the second station in the funeral rites for a pope here at the Vatican. Francis, of course, being remembered as someone who was humble, caring, a champion of the poor, really one of the church's most progressive leaders. The faithful now to getting their chance to say in person one final goodbye here.
Pope Francis comes back to St. Peter's Basilica for the last time. His body lying in state through Friday evening. The faithful, hundreds of thousands, traveling from around the world to say one final goodbye.
He's in our hearts. He's with God right now.
Cardinals continue gathering at the Vatican ahead of Saturday's funeral. Now, meeting daily for private general congregations. Conversations that can at times turn to who among them could become the next pope.
Cardinal X will say to Cardinal Y, I've been talking about this to Cardinal Z. Let's go have a pizza.
135 cardinals, all under the age of 80, will elect the new pontiff during a highly secretive conclave inside the Sistine Chapel. 80% of that group, 108 cardinals, appointed by Francis, 20 from countries that had never had a cardinal before.
The Cardinals really face two choices in this election. Do they want to continue on the path of reform that Francis initiated, of opening the church up to the modern world, or do they want a course correction to elect a pope that's perhaps more focused on doctrine and discipline?
An answer that will only be known when white smoke fills the sky above Vatican City.
Now, the earliest the conclave could begin is May 6th. We will find out from the cardinals at some point, either right before or after the funeral, when they will begin. The longest conclave in modern history, 5 days. You may remember Francis was elected just a day after the conclave started in 2013. Dave, Danita, a lot to work through there, but right now the entire city, the entire Catholic faith, and others around the world reserving this time to remember Francis and say that goodbye.
Yeah, remembering him. And I think you said it so well in the beginning, a man who loved people and a champion for the poor. Definitely well said. That's who he was. All right,
yes.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Well, meanwhile, the local Hispanic Catholic community says they were especially hit hard by Pope Francis' death. He was the first Latin American pope hailing from Argentina and speaking Spanish fluently. 3 News spoke to the director of Hispanic Ministry for the Catholic Diocese of Cleveland. She says herself and fellow Spanish speakers will always remember his legacy.
I was so happy to see the first Hispanic Pope in the history. Pope Francis is a great human, and I consider still alive because he's gonna keep alive in our hearts for the Hispanic community.
And we spoke to many other Hispanic Catholic leaders in Northeast Ohio. Many of them said one of the highlights of Pope Francis's papacy was when he conducted a mass all in Spanish at the Vatican in 2022.
And of course, we'll have continuing coverage of the Pope's death and the historic weeks ahead, both on air, online as well at WKYC.com.